It sounds totally backwards, right? Have you ever wondered why a city famous for its mild, temperate weather is actually a graveyard for heating and cooling systems? It really doesn't make sense at first glance. But the truth is, Seattle's unique climate acts as this relentless, invisible enemy to the complex machinery designed to keep you comfortable. Welcome to this explainer. I'm really glad you're here today because we are talking all about your home's hidden infrastructure. Think of this as your Seattle HVAC survival guide. We're going to break down exactly how the Pacific Northwest climate wages war on your equipment, and more importantly, how you can fight back to protect both your home's comfort and your wallet. Okay, let's quickly look at our roadmap. We've got Seattle's HVAC battleground, common system failures, the cost of comfort, navigating codes and permits, and finally, maximizing your system lifespan. Let's get right into it. Starting off with Section 1, Seattle's HVAC battleground, the invisible adversary. So, the seasonal extremes here are kind of fascinating. On one hand, we've got these mild, damp winters, right? Temperatures mostly hovering in the 40s. Now, that sounds incredibly easy on a furnace, but that constant moisture, it is absolutely brutal. Then, on the flip side, we have rare, intense summer heat. Your AC unit has been sitting there literally doing nothing for months, and boom, sudden temperatures in the 80s and 90s push it into immediate hardcore use. These two completely different weather profiles stress your equipment out in radically different but equally destructive ways. And you know what else? It really depends on your zip code. Geography and architecture totally change the game here. Like, if you're lucky enough to live near the water in Alki or Magnolia, well, that gorgeous saltwater air is actually accelerating the corrosion on your outdoor condenser units. No way around it. Or say you're in Ballard. There, the challenge is trying to cram brand new, high-efficiency tech into century-old craftsman homes. And over in Capitol Hill or Queen Anne, oh man, you're looking at retrofitting modern ductwork into stubborn historic homes that used to rely on steam radiators. It is a massive, massive logistical puzzle. All of those hurdles definitely take a toll. Which brings us to Section 2, common system failures, or basically when machinery breaks. This leads us to a huge, hidden issue in the Pacific Northwest. It's called short cycling. See, because our winters mostly hover in the 40s instead of plunging way below freezing, your furnace kicks on, runs for just a little bit, and then shuts right back off. But here is the kicker. It never actually gets hot enough or runs long enough to burn off the internal moisture buildup. So yeah, that mild weather, it is silently destroying your furnace's lifespan from the inside out. And that short cycling is really just the start. It leads directly to a whole cascade of hidden damages. All that moisture, it causes corroded heat exchangers. And that's not just annoying, it's a genuine carbon monoxide risk. Absolutely crucial to catch that. Then think about those idle air conditioners we just talked about. Their capacitors actually weaken and fail when that sudden summer heat wave hits. Throw in pitted contactors, which actually keep your compressor from shutting down like it should, plus moldy ductwork hiding out in the damp crawl spaces of older Seattle homes, and honestly, you've got the perfect storm for mechanical failure. And all this broken machinery leads to a pretty harsh financial reality. Let's look at Section 3, the cost of comfort, dollars and cents. Listen, if there is one single thing you take away from today, please make it the $5,000 rule. This is your absolute golden rule for deciding whether to repair or replace an aging HVAC system. Here's how it works. You take the age of your unit and you multiply it by the estimated cost of the repair. If that total number is over $5,000, financially speaking, it's time to replace it, period. You really do not want to pour good money into a dying machine. So, if you do have to replace it, what are we actually talking about here? Let's give you a realistic baseline for Seattle. If you've got a 1,200 square foot house or condo, you're looking at somewhere between $5,500 and $9,000 for the install. But if you step up to a 2,000 square foot home, which typically needs a 3 to 4 ton system, those costs jump up to between $7,000 and $12,000. So yeah, it is a significant investment for sure. But keeping those numbers in mind, you've got to remember this absolute truth. Cheap installs always cost more in the long run. Always. Through callbacks, early replacements, the upfront price tag might sting a bit, but cutting corners on an installation is a massive mistake. A sloppy install leads to severe efficiency loss, premature equipment failure, and quite literally thousands of dollars in future damage. At the end of the day, you're paying for the expertise that prevents a total disaster down the line. If you want it done right, you absolutely have to follow the rules. Moving on to Section 4, navigating codes and permits, the rule book. To make sure you're getting a quality install, pros have to take 3 critical steps. Step 1, the manual J load calculation. Never ever trust a contractor who just uses some lazy rule of thumb like, oh, 400 square feet per ton. No way. A manual J actually factors in your insulation, your windows, even the way your home is facing on the lot to perfectly size your system. Step 2 is securing a code-compliant permit. In Seattle, this runs about $150 to $300, but it guarantees your system gets properly inspected for safety. And step 3, EPA-certified refrigerant handling. That's not just a good idea, it's a strict legal and environmental necessity.
And speaking of the code, Seattle does not mess around when it comes to energy efficiency. The city actually mandates a minimum of 95% AFUE for gas furnaces and 15 SEER for air conditioners. Now, I know what you're thinking. High-efficiency gear definitely costs a little more upfront, but these strict baselines are actually designed to save you money by significantly lowering your utility bills over the lifespan of the equipment.
Okay, so you've bought the system, you've followed the codes. Now, how do you protect that huge investment? Section 5, maximizing your system lifespan. Tactics for longevity.
Let's map out the actual life cycle of your equipment. At year 0, you get that professional install. Fast forward to year 10. Well, this is exactly where neglected, unmaintained systems just throw in the towel and die. If you make it past that, year 12 to 17 is generally the end of the line for a typical central AC unit here in Seattle. But if you have a really well-maintained heat pump, you can stretch that lifespan to an impressive 15 to 20 years. Pretty great, right? Just keep in mind, if you're in one of those coastal neighborhoods breathing in the salty air we talked about, you're going to want to subtract 2 to 3 years from those estimates. Now, here is a super practical tip you can use yourself to protect your gear: the 3-minute rule. Whenever you turn your air conditioning off, or say it trips off on its own, you must wait at least 3 full minutes before restarting it. Why? Because the refrigerant pressure inside the unit needs time to equalize between the high and low sides of the system. If you try to restart it too fast, you're forcing that compressor to work against extreme high pressure, and that can literally destroy the internal components in a split second. So be patient. Ultimately, though, your absolute best defense against the Seattle climate is simply this: annual maintenance. It literally adds 3 to 5 years to your equipment's life. Having a pro come out to clean the components, test the electrical connections, and check for those sneaky hidden dangers like a cracked heat exchanger before winter hits or low refrigerant before a summer heat wave. That is exactly how you win this battle. It's basically the ultimate insurance policy for your comfort. As we wrap up today's explainer, I want to leave you with something to think about. Does your home's hidden infrastructure actually have what it takes to survive the next Seattle season? I mean, after seeing how the mild winter moisture silently corrodes steel and how a sudden summer heat wave can just fry delicate electronics, it really makes you rethink that invisible battle going on right beneath your floorboards and behind your walls, doesn't it? I really hope this deep dive gave you the tools you need to protect your home. Thanks so much for hanging out and learning with me today on this explainer, and I'll catch you on the next one.